How are you? A little late, but better than never. This is great, because I've never actually had a book that was signed by the author. It's a good book.
Really?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, who's your source?
Protected. If you want me to scratch your back, you're gonna have to scratch mine.
You got a favorite spot?
Uh-huh. I want to know about Miguel's son, the one he had with his lover.
Well, he went to the University of Chicago, and then he fell off the radar screen when Miguel was shot in that hotel room, which is something else that blows my mind about this book. You found stuff in here that, I mean, I've had my boys try to dig up for a long time and they could never find.
Like?
Well, like the blanks that you filled in about the kid's mom and how she couldn't take it when Miguel went back to Carmen, and she called Carmen on the phone to say that she wasn't the only woman in his life.
That was key. That's actually what led to Carmen's goons trying to beat the lover's name out of Miguel.
Right. And the Chicago police thought it was a rival gang thing, and we were never able to prove otherwise. So you're sure about that?
Oh, yeah.
Real inside scoop there, huh?
Real inside source.
But you're never going to tell me.
Guess you're gonna have to have lunch with me again.
Right. I might. And there's one other thing that I just can't understand. The grandmother, Maria, how could she get along with Carmen after knowing that Carmen had her husband beaten to death? I don't get it.
Well, that's easy. She didn't know. The grandmother didn't know that it was Carmen who had Miguel killed, and she didn't know about Miguel's lover or their son, her other grandson. She didn't know about anything until she got her hands on the first draft of this book, and then she put two and two together.
I see. So you were able to put all this info together in the little town of Springfield, huh?
Now you know. So now you tell me what I don't know. Come on, don't you know anything more about Miguel's son? Miguel Jr.?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to know something. Carmen had another son, Danny Santos' brother, Mick.
I want to know about Miguel Jr. Now, somebody told me that he went to law school.
Is that right? Well, so you know more than I do. I do know, though, from a couple of old-time Chicago mobsters that they used to see the kid from time to time when he was little.
With Miguel?
Yeah. Mostly on Sunday afternoons. He used to drive out to a safe house in sort of a nothing neighborhood.
So the Santoses wouldn't find out about him?
Yeah. Used to hole up in a room with no windows watching the Cubs game on TV. And he couldn't take the risk of being seen with the kid. Actually, now that I think about it, here's a little story for you. One day, the little kid cuts out from school to watch the Cubs game. Goes to the Wrigley Field, sits in the bleachers, and looks over at his father's box. And there he is, Miguel, his dad, wearing a white linen suit and a Panama hat and a cigar. And sitting right next to him is another little kid, right out in the open for everybody to see, sitting with the old man, having soda and hot dogs. And that was the first time that little Miguel Jr. ever saw little Danny Santos. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who told you that?
A guy named Nicky Brony, a.k.a. Nick the Lip.
That's just heartbreaking, to have to keep your life a secret like that. Do you mind if I take some notes?
Why?
Sequel to my book. It's about Mike's son, Miguel Jr. I want to know what happened to him. You know, why did he disappear? Was it by choice? Was he in danger? Where is he now? Is he in the mob?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he selling stock on Wall Street?
Mm-hmm. It's all the same, really, isn't it?
But he could be anyone. He could be anywhere. He could have changed his name, his hair color. He could be a big CEO of a company. Maybe he's in prison doing time.
Maybe.
Maybe he's a musician traveling with a band of folk singers. Who knows?
You've got a great imagination. That's probably what makes you such a good writer. Actually, I wonder if even you could have come up with a scenario as weird as the deal you got going with Ross. Let me ask you something. What is it with you two? What have you got going there?
You want to know what I've got going with Ross?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'll give it to you in one simple
Go ahead.
sentence. Ross and I are not married because he doesn't want to give me anything to rebel against.
So you're one of those malcontent types.
Well, I've had my moments. But when I don't want to kill the man, I actually do love Ross.
Well, thanks, hon. I love you, too. Hello, Gus. More coffee?
Honey, I was just...
Research, yes, I know.
Ross, there's a problem here. Law not paying the bills. Buzz got you moonlighting.
The tips are fantastic. Actually, I like helping people just for the sake of helping people. In church, they call it fellowship.
Wow, Ross, I never would have pegged you to be a churchgoer.
Well, I am. You should try it sometime. In fact, you should get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness.
I know. I just don't know for what exactly to beg for.
Well, Gus, that's between you and God. But there's one sin that's very clear to everybody. You are so desperate to get the goods on my client that you're willing to endanger the woman I love. And if that continues, somebody is going to get burned very badly. And it's not going to be me, and it's certainly not going to be Blake.
You are reading into this thing all wrong. All I did, Ross, was to come and get my book signed. Look, see right here.
With no discussion of the Santos family? I don't believe that. Now, Gus, it's bad enough that you ignore everything from basic police policy all the way to the Bill of Rights. But you are not going to use my companion to get information about the Santos family.
Not companion, that's a good word. That means that you're close, but you're not so close. You're connected, actually, but you're not actually connected officially,
Yes.
is that right?
Yes, exactly. Now, Agent Itora, unless you have a lot of court orders, you're not going to use my family and friends to get information about my clients.
No fooling. You know, I think this is a good time for me to hit the road. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the book. I really do. And what was that, the Bill of Rights? What is that? I'll have to look it up on the internet.
Ask Buzz. Allison, thanks so much.
Ross, we were just having lunch.
And comparing information about the Santos family.
Now, that's not exactly true.
Why don't we play this?
All right, you know what? I wanted a few details.